Hello, Lance. How are you?
Doing well, Chase. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Welcome to another episode of Anime Fix. What episode are we on?
5, I think.
Oh, wait, I gotta say the second part, where you get your fix for all things anime.
Yes.
Episode 5. We did Summer Wars last time, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun doing it in person.
It was a lot of fun. Sort of stressful, but a lot of fun. We've been talking for a while, but we're figuring out some admin stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm pulling up my notes. Let's see. What do we watch, Lance? What'd you make me watch?
I made you watch.
You made me watch it. What do you make me watch?
Anime Crimes Division Seasons 1 and 2. A very short web series on YouTube.
It wasn't that short.
I mean, it is if you skip the intro and outro music each time.
Well, luckily, one of the episodes did it for me.
Yes, Season 2.
Well, where do you want to start in it? I wrote a bunch of notes, but I kind of stopped writing stuff down after the first season.
Let's just start with the overall. What your thoughts of it on it are?
Well, first off, it's not anime, but it has a lot of anime tropes.
Yes.
I'm surprised you got most of those anime tropes.
Let's clarify. There's probably a lot of them I didn't get, and there was a lot more I didn't get when I first watched it. Things I picked up on now are things like references to anime deaths, which was occurred in season 2.
Hated it. I haven't watched one of those animes, and they're like, "Hey, this guy dies." I was like, "Well, now I'm gonna put it off for even more years because I need to forget that."
Since I've watched Death Note now, like some of the references to Death Note came up. Obviously, I got the only book I have on my shelf is Death Note.
I thought it was pretty funny.
How did you feel about towards the end with Prestige City?
You mean the TV city?
Yeah, the TV city.
Very accurate. That's for sure. Before I got into anime, the drama and like US like tropes, that was a lot of like similar tropes, like how they did a lot of the anime tropes. There's a lot of drama tropes that they did as well, like the character progression and stuff like that. That's pretty funny.
Character progression, the single, they call it out specifically, the single scene take on a fight scene.
Yes, the
uncut fight. Uncut fight scenes. Yeah.
I think some of it was cut because I don't think that was the same dude the whole time, like doing those kicks.
Absolutely not. It wasn't.
No, that's why I wore a hat. Speaking of which, the first thing I wrote down is that the guy that has a deep voice and does voiceovers on YouTube, the Asian dude?
Yeah, so he does voiceovers. He also does a lot of short, I think he was a former Viner. Went to YouTube when Vine. Yeah. But he does a lot of short 10 to 20 second clips. Very talented voice actor.
Yeah. And then the second thing I wrote down was there's people that can recite Sailor Moon entirely in Japanese and people that don't belong in anime. I was like, well, that's a little extreme, but whatever floats your boat, bud. But that was the whole premise of the whole show, was everyone deserves anime.
Yeah. How did you feel about the I'll point out one thing that really stuck out to me when I first watched through this. Back not retrospect when we just watched it, but when it first went public on YouTube, was in season 2, the anime music video, the AMV alley.
Yeah.
So this is a fun story. So we were watching it. We got to that episode and they were talking about AMVs, and I said, "Wait a minute." Pause. And I turned to Tori and I go, What are AMVs? Right? And so she started telling me what they are. It says I still like them, but I was super into them before I even knew anything about anime.
Oh, really?
So I had no idea. When I saw my first AMV, I actually believe that animation was created for the music. I didn't realize that it was cut from an existing.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Kidding me right now.
Say what?
You said, are you kidding me right now? You thought it
Oh,
was
this
made
is
for
just
the
true
music?
story. So like I love that kind of music. It's not the only music I listen to, but I love like the Cascada and Evanescence style music. Um, and highly synthesized, repetitive
Yep.
uh, music. Yeah, I love it. So back in the day, I would search for those types of songs on YouTube. I came across AMVs. I was like, oh, this is so cool. They put together all this animation just for this one song. That's really that's really cool. Had no idea that it was edited from an existing anime.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So that was so it was kind of a real like, oh my gosh.
You think
I was
Evanescence is that popular that people wrote entire manga or animation for that song?
I believed it at the time.
Fair enough.
Not anymore, but no, I loved it. And so I got super upset and they were like, "Oh, yeah, AMV aren't real anime fans." I mean, again, I'm probably that target that they were focusing on, people who were watching
Totally.
it who had no clue idea, but
Yep.
but I really love the content they produce. That's actually how I found Beastars.
Really?
What is the song "Blinding Light" by The Weeknd?
Yeah, I think I know that one.
I um I I actually I really that song's been was real popular. This still is real popular this past year. I was like, you know what? I bet there's an AMV for it, and so I went on YouTube and I searched "Blinding Light AMV," and the first one that came up was Beastars, and that's how I found it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I gotta actually watch that, but not next week. We'll figure it. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
next. The Dominator. Did you not know? You don't know Psychopaths, do you?
Oh, so there's probably like 90% of the references and tropes in there I don't know,
Bro,
or
to be
if I
honest with you,
know,
I only know 50% of them.
no.
Yeah.
There was
So
something like I could tell what they were making. I guess I could tell. I got the idea of what the joke was
yeah,
without knowing the underlying context, just from my experience with animes now. So
yeah. Once you watch Psychopaths, it'll make more sense. But the Dominator is like one of the most popular guns from anime.
uh-huh.
But you don't know like what the Dominator does, do you?
No.
Let me explain it to you. You want to watch the anime later? I mean, you're probably not going to watch the anime for like a year, probably after we
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through all
yeah.
the
Go ahead and
animes we're
explain it
going to
to me
watch.
now. I promise
Yeah,
you, I'll forget before I sit
I
down to
know,
watch
I
it.
know you will because I'm going to make you watch it because this whole podcast I think is just me and you talking about animes that we make each other watch. But so like a Dominator, it's in Psychopaths. I've only watched the first and second season, I believe, but the first season's so good, it kind of drags a little bit in the second one. But basically, the Dominator, it's a gun that connects back to a central hub or server, um, and it determines what your um, criminal rating like likelihood is. So like it's a society, post-apocalyptic, not apocalyptic, but like it's a society where there's no crime because you stop the criminal before they commit a crime.
Okay.
So like it doesn't like read your mind, but it kind of reads your mind. Like it uses your emotions and like your sweat, like how much you're sweating, and then also like if you're likely to commit a crime on like stress level and stuff like that. So you point the Dominator at your target, and if you're a mild threat or need therapy or something like that, it stuns you or incapacitates you. And then if you're beyond the threshold of saving, it just kills you. So the gun automatically ties back to the server that monitors all of the human stress levels and like sweat glands and all that stuff.
That actually sounds right up my alley and the
I
kind of
know it
stuff.
does, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
So
Yeah,
yeah.
bro. And bro, it's first season. It's a banger, a banger.
Make a note of that because I don't want to forget that. So let me just make a
Yeah.
note
Well, I'm
here.
gonna make you watch it eventually, so don't worry about it.
I might watch it sooner.
I mean, if you watch it sooner, we'll just do that
Yeah.
podcast eventually.
Psychopaths. Yeah, I have an excellent long term memory and a horrible short term memory. So how anything ever gets to long term, I don't know.
That's a good point. I don't know either.
I'll forget something you told me 10 seconds ago, but
Yeah.
you better believe I'll remember something that happened 10 years ago.
Those waifu body pillows in the first episode. How many of those waifus do you know?
Absolutely none. But I
I
thought of
only
you
know
when I watched
two.
it.
I only know two. I was surprised. I only knew two of them. I know Diva, obviously from Overwatch, and then I know the magic explosion girl from Konosuba. She's the one with the little girl with the hat. She's a witch.
Mhm.
So
Was
Konosuba is
Citrus not
also
in there?
no, she wasn't in there.
Oh, did you look
And
for her?
and the domestic girlfriend's not in there either. No, yeah, of course I look for him. I mean, Rui from Domestic Girlfriend is best girl. That's best girl. Don't even argue with me unless it's about Tokyo Ghoul, because they're pretty much the same person.
So, like, what? How did you feel? I know I've teased you about this before, but how did you feel in that moment when they brought up Dragon Ball Evolution and saying it?
Why would you even ask me
so
that
much
question?
better with
Why would you even ask me that
Justin
question?
Chatwin as Goku?
I felt exactly how the main dude was feeling at that moment. I'm not even gonna answer that question, Lance. I'm not gonna answer the question.
So, I mean, I get.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, then don't ask me questions about it then.
But I'm curious. I want to know. I'd like to know what fundamentally, other than it was an Americanized version of an anime, and so that makes it bad. Like, I watched the trailer for the Netflix
Tokyo Ghoul.
for Netflix
Death Note.
Death Note, yeah.
Yep.
And even if I hadn't watched Death Note before, I think that I would have thought that trailer was bad. Just some of the way, just from some of the scenes that I saw in that in the trailer. But I want to know specifically for you, what made that Americanized version, like, what was the most egregious thing that they did that made it bad? Because I like to know everything, just everything.
Name one thing in that movie, it's bad. Anything. But you can't name anything because you haven't seen it, and you don't understand how bad it is. You haven't even watched any Dragon Ball, and you'll notice that everything is bad. So I watched it when I was like 11 or 12, right? And then this is at my peak of into Dragon Ball Z. Like, I was drawing Dragon Ball Z characters. I was like reading like fan fiction of Dragon Ball Z, like bunch of Dragon Ball Z stuff. Anyone that doesn't know, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. Anyways, my goodness, I don't know where to start. All the characters are wrong. They're all white. First off, stop right there. Just stop right there. Oh my goodness. I mean, even if you don't, I mean, whatever. But like Justin Chadwick or whatever his freaking name is, awful Goku. Doesn't even look like Goku. I mean, his hair spiked up like just in the front. Like, I don't know, man. It's just he does a Kamehameha. It looks ridiculous. The story makes no sense. I mean, they could have just gone with the regular Dragon Ball instead of Dragon Ball Z, which they did. It's called Dragon Ball Evolution, but he's supposed to be a kid in Dragon Ball. He's a freaking high schooler. It looks like High School Musical is playing through this. He meets Bulma, and I'm done. They made Chi-Chi the only Asian girl, but they made Bulma white. I don't understand, man. I just don't understand.
Going. I'm enjoying watching this.
It's been so long since I've watched it because I refuse to rewatch it. But from what I remember, like, and Piccolo, what they do with Piccolo, man. Eric Bana played Piccolo, I think. He's like the first Hulk or whatever. Oh, he's not a bad actor, but man.
I mean, I would say he was a bad actor in the first Hulk.
I mean, he wasn't that bad.
That movie was horrible. The best part about that movie was the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's when all the action started. It was so much like there's so much like build up, and I really appreciated how in like the later Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, how they just jumped right in. He's Spider-Man, right? We don't need to see Uncle Ben die. We don't need to see him get bit by a radioactive spider. We know the story.
Yeah.
Start with him being Spider-Man. So that was probably what really just made that film bad. The last 20 minutes were pretty good, but it was just all action, so it was like eye candy at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway. Overall, Dragon Ball, awful. Just until you've watched it, just don't. You know what? We'll do a freaking podcast about Dragon Ball Evolution, and I'll tear it apart, okay? And then you tell me what you like about it, and then I'll tell you how you're wrong.
Who says I'm going to like it?
I mean, you're gonna be the person that tells me that you like it just to make me upset.
That's true. I would do that. I would lie.
Of course
Watch
you
you
would.
suffer.
Oh my goodness. But yeah.
Um,
So frustrating.
I've in all the anime tropes, I've never
Anime tropes, yeah.
understood that we watched in this series.
Yep.
What's with the maybe I've asked you this before, but what's with the arm behind the back thing? I need to know.
Arm behind the back thing. What do you mean?
When they're running.
Wait, are you asking me the Naruto run? What that is? Are you
I'm
kidding
asking
me?
you. Okay. I'm asking you why when I watch Tokyo Ghoul or any other anime where there's fast movement, they hold their arms behind their back. I don't know. That's why I asked. If I knew, I wouldn't have asked.
Lance, you are a co-owner of a anime podcast.
I explicitly stated how little I know about anime at the beginning. Okay, so don't try to put that on me.
I'm gonna put it on you. I'm gonna put it on you.
This is a learning opportunity for me.
Yes.
So
I
educate
just
me.
I just like making fun of you. That's my whole thing. I am excited that you don't know a lot about like anime tropes and like that kind of stuff, which I'm excited for. You haven't seen any of Naruto, have you? Because they are the one that kind of like started it, that kind of run. So apparently, Shinobi, which are like ninjas, and Naruto, whatever, they run that way because it's supposed to be faster. Don't know how, but it's supposed to be faster.
Okay.
So like because of the way that they run, like Tokyo Ghoul got it from them, and then like the trope in anime is that's how if they're running so fast, if they try to like move their arms, it block like the that like air resistance and stuff. So that's the trope of running like an anime character or Naruto. And eventually you will watch all of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Super, and you will watch all of Naruto. I haven't watched any of One Piece, so we're gonna do that together.
Have they found the One Piece yet?
They're still going. I think it started in the year 2000 or something, and 22 years later, still trying to find that One Piece.
Talk about plots going to nowhere. There's an there's an example. It's just endless cycle of looking for it.
I hear
don't even
it's
know what
so
the One
good.
Piece.
I hear it's so good, but 900 episodes in, no. I mean, Naruto finished at, well, I guess Boruto's still going, but Naruto finished at like 700. So
Oh, only 700. How many episodes a season? Is that 7 seasons right there, or is that
I don't know. It doesn't really do it by seasons. I just watch it.
just watch it?
Because
Okay.
on Crunchyroll and Funimation, it doesn't really break it down. It just, do you want to watch next episode? I'm like, yeah.
Just play it in the background.
No, I gotta
I
pay
can't do
attention.
that. I can't do that because I have to when I'm watching something. If I'm invested in it, I'm like I have to do only that, and so I can't.
Yeah, I
just
remember
play.
when you watched Tokyo Ghoul. It's yeah, it's all you did. Like every time I called you, you were watching Tokyo Ghoul.
It was a super time waster. Well, I know it's a time waste because if I didn't enjoy it, I did
Yep.
enjoy it, but
Of course you enjoyed it, Tokyo Ghoul.
yeah, I was so enthralled in it, and I can't. I don't know. I have to focus on one thing at a time. But yeah.
Nice.
What else did you think about the web show?
I like the Pocky references.
Addiction
That
to
was fun.
Pocky.
Yeah, there's a lot of Pocky in anime, obviously as well. Like there's an anime I'm watching right now. It's like it's kind of weird. It's like a trope on tropes. And then like this guy is this girl is like a writer or whatever, and she has like writer's block. So this guy buys her Pocky, and like he goes to feed it to her, and like she bites all the way up in like little tiny bites up to his hand, and he's like no, bad, and I'm like, okay, this is where it's going. But yeah, the Pocky thing was really cool. I liked the first episode where it's dub versus sub.
Yes,
Do you watch more dub or sub?
I watch dub. And part of that for me is when I'm watching a show, I really, especially like an animation,
Mhm.
I really think it's important that I to connect with the voice actor, and
Yeah.
it's just because I don't understand Japanese. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with reading subtitles. I've watched plenty of foreign films where I had to read the subtitles, and it's still enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I really want to hear how the voice actor tone changes as they're saying the lines, and if I can't understand it, then I feel like there's something I'm losing there. So,
Well, to be the devil's advocate, like sometimes the Japanese voice actors portray, the emotion better than the English voice actors sometimes, depending on the anime, obviously.
mhm.
Um,
um,
for me, dub versus sub. Go ahead. What were you gonna
I was gonna say
say?
that in that episode, I really enjoyed how the bad guy was like, it's all about the manga.
Yeah, no, that was funny. I've been getting really into manga recently, or manga. I guess it's the correct term. It's called manga, but everyone says manga.
Okay.
Um,
But what'd you like about the first episode? Subs for the dubbers and the subbers.
so dub versus subbers. For me, it doesn't really matter if I watch it in sub or dub. I have subtitles on either way because I'm hard of hearing. At least that's what my wife says. But whatever I start in, like dub or sub, I have to finish it all the way through in dub or sub. I can't switch in the middle of it. So like, what's really sucks is like with Naruto, um, Shippuden, anyways. I'm halfway through, and I've been watching it in dub, and there's no more dub at like after that. So now I'm forced to watch sub, and it's so different, and it's just bugging me so bad. But dub versus sub, it's all anime, right? It's all what we're digesting. It's just different, different paths, different avenues that we're absorbing the content through. So anime's for everybody. And there shouldn't be a war between dub or sub, in my opinion, because anime's for everyone.
Do you feel like that is like that war is sort of real?
Of course, it's real. What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm an
I know,
outsider
I
looking
know.
in.
I mean, you're not really an outsider anymore.
I would say that I'm shout I'm ankle deep. I don't
You're
think
ankle deep.
I don't think I've gone like my love of anime is deep into the pool, but my
Yeah.
understanding of anime and the culture
Mhm.
around it is probably ankle deep.
Yeah, I'm about knee deep, I would say. I'm not waist deep or like anything like that. There's like if I was submerged or drowning in anime, I would have got every reference in this thing. Of course, it came out 6 years ago. But
6 years ago,
didn't that come out 6 years ago?
2017, bro.
It's 4 years ago. That's close. Well, when I
Yeah.
was watching episode 1, it said 6. So I don't know. I'll be wrong.
So maybe okay. So I'm thinking of season two. Season two
Yeah,
came out
season
four
2
years
came
ago.
out. Yeah, I saw that.
6 years ago, really? Wow.
I know, right,
That
bro?
even that actually makes it worse because that's so 6 years ago. It'd be 2015, right?
Yeah.
So we watched it. I watched it with Tori the first time. So I bet it
That's
came
about
out
right.
5 years. I bet it came out 5 years ago.
Probably.
Yeah, 26. Yeah, 2016. I bet is when it came out, and then 2017 was season two. Because I watched that with Tori. So even now that I'm thinking about it, there was even less I understood about the references. Like I was enjoyable show, but there was even less I understood because I was just getting started at that time.
Yeah. That's very, very true.
It's kind of weird for me to think
Um,
about.
there's just so much stuff they packed in that first episode as far as like references and tropes. I'm running out of storage on my phone writing all these notes down. I mean, they talked about Little Police Academia. Obviously, like there's a bunch of like, My Hero Academia. There's some other animes too that like are an academia type of anime. Yuri on Ice. My wife loves that show. I haven't watched it yet though.
How did you feel about the Digimon when the sidekick brings up how she watches Digimon, and the main character was like, "Don't even." I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. Is Digimon not real anime?
No, so I'm not sure if it's a trope, but there is a category of beginner anime that aren't really considered anime, but still are anime, if that makes sense. So like, name some of those in your opinion that would fall in that category, and I'll tell you if you're right. I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Come on.
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of them.
Dragon Ball.
No, Dragon Ball's anime.
Those are the only two I got. Naruto.
No.
Oh,
Think of cartoons in Saturday morning that you used to watch. Maybe not you, but like someone like me.
Yeah, I mean that are anime or just
yeah,
like
so yeah, so
I
like
can only think
Pokemon,
of that's all I can think of.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Oh yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Beyblade,
Don't know that
Digimon.
one.
You know
Digimon.
Beyblades? You played with Beyblades as a kid?
I didn't play any card games as a kid. That wasn't like
It's not a card game. They're Beyblades. They're like you put the little string in, you pull it, and it's a circle.
Oh yeah, I did play with those. Not very much.
Yeah. I didn't think you're that old.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that had anything to do with like an anime.
Yeah, it started as an anime.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
How much? I wonder how many other toys or that I played with as a kid that got their start in anime, and I had no. Again, I watched AMVs and I had no clue, so it's very possible that I played with a bunch of toys.
But like when you think of those like animes, you think Saturday morning cartoons. You know what I mean? Because they played on like the US like cable like channels or whatever during those times. So they're beginner animes, but not really animes, I guess. But I don't know. That's just a weird trope on that.
Are you a anime purist, Chase? Do you think that like anime fans need to move to Prestige City or
no? I do not. So that opinion of mine, so that opinion is not of my opinion. That's like the community as a whole, which it shouldn't be. You know, anime's for everyone. That's the whole premise of that web series, right?
So going back to when I first watched this, I think it's in the second to last episode when Sidekick is going through and trying to like save everybody, and they have her cornered in the alley.
Yep, I remember that.
And they're talking up a big game, and she goes, I was always more into Digimon. And what did I learn in Digimon? We fuck things up.
Yep.
And I remember we watched it, Tori said, I don't remember Digimon being so aggressive.
Yeah, I don't think it was that aggressive either when I was watching it. But straight action, I think, is what she said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of story in Digimon. It's just mostly action fight scenes.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing at the end of the first episode in season 1, where the dude is like, manga's better, manga's better, whatever. How he was talking about Akira. You remember when he was saying that? Akira, the anime versus the manga?
Yeah.
How they took off like half the characters for the anime. Yeah. That makes me want to like read the manga instead of watch the anime now. But I'm still gonna watch the anime.
Why do you think that they do that?
Because there's not enough time. Like, because the movie's already 2 hours long. There's not enough time to flesh out all those other characters. They don't want to probably put them in and like just be lackluster. They'd probably make him even more upset.
Is that why most, or a lot, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of animes up a series is because there's so much content there that they have to unpack versus in a movie you only have 92 90 minutes.
So I'm not sure if you know this, but all anime, usually all anime come from mangas. But all mangas come from light novels.
Okay, so I had a reasonable expectation that anime is based usually off of some manga, but what is a light novel? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so you know like young adult novels in the US? So light novel is a Japanese version of that.
Okay.
It's just a shorter, compact like book pretty much, but it deals with the genre of like romance or like shonen. So a writer usually writes a light novel, and if it gets more popularity, it gets like gets more traction and people buy that book a lot, then the publisher or editors decide collectively to turn that into a manga. And if that does super well, which it should because it's popular enough to get a manga, then that will get turned into an anime.
Okay. So then, when a movie is based off of anime, would it, in a sense, be really based off of the light novel, since the light novel is a smaller, more compact version, or is it not?
Ask your question again. What was it?
Oh, you said mangas are based off of light novels.
Yeah, so it goes light novel, manga, anime.
Since an anime or like an anime movie
Mhm.
is such a compact experience, would it be kind of really based off of the light novel since there's less there? Or am I not understanding that?
No, so I don't really know 100% because obviously I'm only knee deep in this, but I've watched a lot of animes recently that deal with writers as far as
Hmm.
like going, light novel, anime, manga, then movie, or light novel, manga, and then anime. But so like your name and like Weathering with You, there wasn't anything before. I don't believe Silent Voice. There was a manga, but I don't think Your Name Weathering with You had anything. They just did it from concept.
Okay.
Um, so I think it can go either way, really, for the movie. But like Silent Voice, there's a big chunk of Silent Voice that they cut out, but I don't think it was long enough to make it a series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Yeah.
else can you teach me about anime from this series that I don't understand?
I haven't actually read any light novels. I've been looking at getting a light novel book and seeing if I like that because, well, my problem is I don't have a lot of time to actually just read because I read a lot of manga, so that takes up a lot of my time. But like in the car when I'm driving, I like to listen to books, but there's like no light novel like books on like Audible, which makes me so upset. There's Rising of the Shield Hero, which you're gonna watch eventually as well. But Rising of the Shield Hero is on there, but I'm like, there's only one book, and after I finish that, because I'm gonna finish it super fast, I'm done nothing. I can't go into the next book, so I don't know. I mean that's the trope. That's not a trope, but like that's this progression usually of writing.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I mean, the lo-fi ending was pretty funny in the first episode, or on all the episodes where he's just sitting there writing at his desk and there's lo-fi music playing.
Um, what do you think about the Play for Keeps episode?
For Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
I used to do that as a kid.
Play for Keeps?
Of course, I did.
How did you feel when someone beat you and took your card?
I took it back without them looking, so I never really lost. It's not gambling at that point.
So you're a gambler and a thief, is what you're saying.
Oh, I got a story to tell you about me as a kid at a birthday party. I don't know if I should tell it right now. I'll probably save it for later.
No, tell it right now.
Why? I don't want to tell it right now. Make me seem
Don't
like
want
an
to hear
awful
it.
person. All right. So when I was a kid, went to a birthday party, and Yu-Gi-Oh was super big. I was like 8 or 9 at the time, but I got a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I gave to the friend that I was going to birthday party to. Right. So we gave him the pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and it's sitting on the table. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, how can I make this better for me, right? So, so I take the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then this guy just opened up all of his birthday cards, so he has cash and everything. So I'm like, hey, I'll give you this pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards for $20. Not my Yu-Gi-Oh cards; it's his Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I gave him for his birthday. So he's like, I don't know. I don't know what's in the pack. So I open the pack. There's luckily there's a blue eyes white dragon there. He didn't have one. So as soon as he saw that, he was like, "Yeah, I'll switch you." So I gave him the pack. He gave me $20. And I would have gotten away with it too if my mom didn't ask me, "Hey, where's those cards you got him for his birthday?" And I was like, "I already gave them to him." He's like, "But why are they open?" And he's like, "Well, he opened them." And so my mom went and talked to him and was like, "Yeah, I bought these from Chase." And I was and I was like, "Why do you have to phrase it like that? Just say Chase gave them to me." So I got found out and had bucks.
and somewhere in the world there's a supervillain now who has your picture
Yeah,
on their wall, and they're like, "I'm gonna get him back one of these days."
bro, that was so dark when they kept saying the 14-year-old was banished to the Shadow Realm.
8-year-old, 8-year-old. He was well,
But he was
man.
14 when he was banned. He was 8 when they took the card.
Oh, A 14-year-old banished to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, that's pretty dark.
Yeah,
They
they
were
kept
laughing about
mentioning
it.
that. Yeah, they kept mentioning that too.
The guy was like, "He's in hell now."
That was funny.
What was your experience like watching his Gundam be destroyed?
I'm not big into Gundam, so it didn't really matter to me.
You know,
Now if instead of doing a Gundam, they should have done like anime waifu like figurines. That would have played to my heartstrings.
why? What is so special about waifu figurines?
I mean, you saw how I reacted with the body pillows. So imagine like you have like all your pristine figurines, which would make sense that his Gundam is a pristine figurine, like a rare edition one. But I think like the otaku or weeb culture now collects like anime waifu figurines. That's really
Ah,
popular right now. So I think if it was made during this time instead of like the 5 or 4 years ago, it would be a waifu figurine.
oh, okay. I've never been one into figurines. Now, I do have some.
Hmm.
Usually, if I like really like that character from a story, it's very, very picky what I have. Um, yeah, I've never really been much of a collector.
Huh.
Because
How many?
like for me, it's a when it comes to collecting, it's about like the art of it and me appreciating the art, and I feel like a lot
Yeah,
of collectors do it. The justification is this will grow in value, but for me,
yeah,
it's not about the money; it's about appreciating the art. So, like when I see whole walls full of like Beanie Babies or Hot Wheels or
yep,
figurines, I'm like, okay, do you really appreciate all of them? Their art, or do you only appreciate them because you think that they're going to have resale value in the future?
yeah.
So I feel
I also
like
think it's
less is
about the
more.
collecting as well, though.
Experience of collecting.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, well, what do you mean? Like, I guess I don't
Like the
follow.
so like the thrill of like either standing in line in the morning at like 5 o'clock or of like going and searching for a certain like figurine or a certain like card or something like that. The thrill of um you know the journey of collecting.
It's about the journey, not the end, the
I mean,
one piece that you need.
I mean that's that whole purpose, right? That's why I haven't found the One Piece yet. How many Sailor Moon references did you get?
Absolutely zero,
What do
except
you
when they.
mean?
Me,
Tori's
what
right
do I
next to
mean?
you.
It doesn't mean she talked to me about Sailor Moon every day.
I mean, she should. I mean, like when you were watching it, she probably should have been like, "Hey, Sailor Moon reference right there."
I mean, she might point it out, like, oh, Sailor Moon, but she didn't really like. We didn't pause and have her explain to me what that reference meant. So,
So in the auction when they're auctioning off that Super Saiyan Dark Magician, which is not real, I looked it up. You know that guy that bid and won the thing before they were gonna do the auction? He was wearing a
hmm?
mask and a tuxedo.
Yeah,
He's from Sailor Moon. You know what his name
oh,
is?
no.
Tuxedo Mask. That's his name, bro.
So original. The naming is superb from the creative department.
Oh yeah. And then they also said you look like tuning exams Rock Lee. I got that reference. It was so funny.
What is that reference from?
Naruto.
Okay.
So they're all kids. They're like, I don't know how old they are. I think they're like 9 or 10 year olds.
Mhm.
But they're going through this shinobi like tuning exams. So what that means is they're trying to go up a level from genin to tuning so they can like lead like small groups of like other ninjas or shinobi.
Okay.
But Rock Lee is such a great character, and he gets he holds his own. He is probably the second strongest in the tunings exam, but man, does he get messed up. So
Okay.
that's why they made the reference. I'm not gonna spoil
Right.
anything for you because I want you to watch it.
Is this just a let's make a list of all the things that Lance doesn't understand and then we're gonna make him watch?
Yes. And if you have any questions about anime tropes or the things you saw in there, now is the best time to ask me.
I get a free pass now. If I bring it up later, I'm just being irritating.
Exactly.
I so guess I don't really have a question about it, but just kind of why it's done this way. So in season 2, in the first episode, when we see our hero, the main character, being a lame golf coach, um, fast forward a little bit, that kid that's like running, trying to give the love letter,
yeah,
to the girl, so they knock him out. Fast forward again. They say to him, if you really care about her, just tell her how you feel. Don't keep that all bottled inside. And he just sort of scurried away. Oh, okay. And he just scurried away, like really awkward.
yeah.
Why? I see that a lot, or I've seen that a lot, where certain characters are super awkward in the anime, or don't have like it don't have to be like super social, but they just seem uncomfortable with talking to other people. Why is that done that way? Like, why don't they make characters that are more outgoing, or at least,
I mean, they do,
more comfortable?
but I mean, so they do make characters that are more outgoing, but they're usually side characters, right? Because I don't know if this is true. This is just my opinion, but Japanese culture and Japanese people, I feel like, don't like talking to strangers, and they kind of keep to themselves. So you feel more for the protagonist if they're the same as you, right? So that's why I think it's that way, and also it leads into build up. You know, the tension. You know how they were talking about that when they were going in for that kiss during the hallway scene.
Yeah.
It builds in that tension, but like once they confess, the tension's over, right? There are some animes that follow the progression of the relationship, but most animes is mustering up the courage and building, you know, the connection for the romance.
You feel like the second season was more catered towards people who watch like the Game of Thrones and The Wire,
No.
than the first season, or do you feel like it was all
Is
on the anime?
It focused on the anime, and they're making fun of the US dramas.
I have to say though, that uncut fight scene in the hallway, I really enjoyed that.
Yes, that was really nice.
Yeah. It says I watched what is it? I watched the first episode of The Wire. It was boring.
Yeah, it was boring. Yeah. The one thing I want to ask you, do you know what I mean, you probably read what it was when it came up, but the Sunandir, I'm not saying that right, but the Sunandir.
The Tsundere?
Tsundere,
Yes.
yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So I probably identify, like, I was like, oh, that's me.
You're a girl?
No. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
No,
I don't know.
So the meaning of it, I don't think it has to be a girl, but the meaning of it is like a cold character that slowly warms up as the story progresses, and then becomes the main like girl heroine.
Oh, so it's specifically towards the female or the heroine of the story, not the.
I don't know if it's. I mean, that's mostly what it goes towards is the female heroine, but like it's a cold heroine that is like standoffish and mean, and then slowly starts to warm up.
Yeah, so I did look it up. I didn't see it be referenced to like just the heroine. I thought it was just like a main character, and when I read that or I saw that, I was like, oh, that's me, because many people who know me will say that I'm a lot more friendly or outgoing now since Tori than I was before Tori. So
well, I only know you since Tori. Well, yeah, I think you guys were together when I first started.
Yeah. So it was very early on, but yeah, like that's so that's when I've watched this series several times. So like the first time it was just blew over my head. I was like, oh, that was really fun. Interesting. I'm getting, I'm learning more about this type of content. And I put it on the shelf and I ignored it for a while. Then I went back to it after I'd watched more anime. I was like, oh, I want to go back and see if I understand anything more or understand things better. That was one of the things that I looked up and I was like, oh, I kind of get that, because I previously was not a very people say I wasn't very friendly. I would just say I
Hmm.
wasn't very outgoing, right? Like, or I
Yeah.
wasn't really eager to socialize. Um,
Yeah.
and after Tori, after we got together, over time, I just started warming up and being willing to talk to people that I otherwise would have avoided.
Yeah. Very, very true. It's like,
Like you, I probably wouldn't have talked to you.
I mean, I would have talked to I would have talked to you. So
No, you would have.
you didn't have a choice.
I did find it interesting because they did it a couple times. They did it with Sundari, and they also did it with Nakama. Well, they didn't do it with Nakama, but I've seen it in other videos that main character has done on YouTube.
Besto
Have you even
friendo.
what?
Besto friendo.
Yeah. How there are some words that just don't have a direct translation, so the word itself
Yeah.
is used. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
There are a lot of those in anime, like words that are just so specific that there is no English translation. You just have to use that word, like Nakama or Sundari.
Yeah, or so like why I said Besto friendo is from Jujutsu Kaisen. It's another great anime that just started. Not just started. Season 2 is coming out soon, but so like when these two guys are fighting, he says, "You are now my besto friendo," instead of saying Nakama. So I think they just used the English version instead.
I saw this when he was interrogating that guy, and he was like, we called him Sasuke, and he screamed at him.
Yeah.
And I've seen that meme, and I've heard that joke before. So
Sasuke.
yeah. So what's the big deal with Sasuke? Like, why is he?
Where do you think that's from? I'll give you 3 guesses. It's something we've already talked about.
From Naruto, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Look at you. Big brain. Why is it funny, or like why they say it?
Yeah, why is that?
So Naruto, the main character, guy with the orange hair, or not orange hair, the yellow hair, he says Sasuke super loud and yelling all the time, no matter what it is. Like whenever he's addressing Sasuke, he's yelling his name.
So that's all. It's not like he's constantly getting yelled at. It's just that's how you say his name, or that's how he says his name.
That's how Naruto says his name, but he's constantly yelling Sasuke. Like you can say Sasuke like normally, but Naruto likes yelling Sasuke, and like you would understand why he yells Sasuke, but you have to watch the anime. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. It's because Sasuke is an idiot, pretty much.
Oh, is Sasuke? Is he an idiot or is he just difficult?
Both. Both.
Who's your favorite character from Naruto?
Kakashi.
Why?
I mean, I have a Kakashi backpack, but Kakashi's super cool. He has a Sharingan, but he's not a Uchiha, which is super cool as well. So he learned how to do it not being a Uchiha. And you don't know any of those words, but it's fine.
I just looked up Sasuke.
Yeah.
And I think he looks kind of cool.
I mean, he's supposed to be the cool character, but he's an idiot.
Is he kind of emo?
Yes, he's emo. He's the most emo person on the show.
Okay, I love him then. I think he's my
you
best
won't love
friend,
him.
though.
You won't love him.
Are you sure?
You'll love him at the end, but you won't love him most of the Naruto.
Did you just spoil the end for me?
No. Do you remember when so when the two kids, when the golfing happened or whatever, right? You remember when the girl came up to the guy and put her arm or hand on the wall behind him and like in front of him? Do you know what that's called? There's a word for that.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Kamadan.
What does that mean?
So that means so it's a trope, an anime trope that anime uses a lot, but it's like to assert dominance or like to like have a butterfly effect or like a feeling of like love or like shock or whatever. But you do a Kamadan when you're trying to get the attention of like either the girl or the boy and like have them pay attention to you and like fall for you. It's supposed to be like, yeah.
Oh, hold on a second.
So like do it to Tori. eventually. Like to do that and see what her reaction is.
She'd probably punch me in the face.
I don't think she will.
Where? Hold on a second. I'm looking up a word.
Okay.
Gotta look up specifically for anime.
I did write down. It's because he's Asian, right? I thought that was funny.
Okay, so let's see here. I've heard of Yandere Simulator or Yandere. So that would what's the aggressive? So there's Tsundere, Dandere,
Oh, I don't know.
Dere, and you don't know.
No, I mean I know Tsundere, and then there's different tropes of main heroine girls or love interest that they follow suit in.
There's one that is super aggressive, and I was wondering if that was the archetype that would use that Kamadan move, or if that's just
Most time it's guys that use it.
what it is. That makes sense.
Yep, most time it's the guys that use it. Girls can do it too, but most of the time the girls in anime are shorter than the guys. It doesn't really work with shorter ones. Because you have to be taller to do it.
Can't find the one I was looking for, so I'll just look for it later.
You don't have to be taller, I guess, but it makes it easier. Did you get the Cybermen pillow reference when he was hugging it?
Oh,
And the Officer Vink when he died.
I didn't get that one.
So Cybermen is from Dragon Ball Z. So Cybermen latches on to Yamcha, and the Cyberman blows himself up. So that's why the pillow blew up. And then you know how Officer Vink was laying like that on the ground?
Yeah,
That's exactly the image of Yamcha dead on the ground like that. So that's why they did that trope. I thought it was hilarious. But it says like the saddest anime deaths of all time, and I'm like, Yamcha's death wasn't that sad. I don't know why that's on there.
L's death was sad.
Who?
L.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter in Dragon Ball because they have Dragon Balls. They just wish him back.
You still had the experience of loss, didn't you? Or did you?
No.
You just know the whole time? Oh, he'll be back in next episode. Or okay.
Yeah, he's a side main character, so he's got to be back. Speaking of you remember when he put that headset on, and it said
the VR headset.
It said Solitaire Art Online or whatever.
Yeah,
that's from Sword Art Online.
Really?
So you know how it's you got to finish this game or beat the game to live, and you can't take the headset off or anything. That's exactly how Sword Art Online is. There's not a gun that pops up, but it's just gonna fry your brain.
Did the Trackathon have anything? Is that a reference to anything, or is that just
I don't know if it was. It doesn't have anything to do with Sword Art Online. But Trackathon, I think, is just tracking the location of where they were.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, you like Sword Art Online too. It's really good. It gets made fun of a lot, but I like it.
How would I like it? Is it super sci-fi and tech heavy?
Super sci-fi and tech heavy. They live in the virtual world, and they have to beat the game to get out.
Oh, that's totally my jive.
I know that and Psychopaths for sure.
Maybe we should watch season 1 of Psychopaths.
So season 1 of Psychopaths is pretty easy to get through. The Sword Art Online is going to take you a long time because there's 3 seasons, and the seasons are 25 episodes long.
Oh, are they
They're so good though, so good.
An hour long or 30-minute long episodes?
30-minute long. So I like season 1 a lot, but they rush it. They really, really rush it for Sword Art Online. So what they're doing now, it's coming out, I think this year or next year. They're remaking or redoing the first season, but they're doing it from Asuna's perspective, I think, instead of Kirito. So it's from the girl's perspective, not the guy's perspective.
Oh.
And I think they're going to focus more on the in between because so how it works with Sword Art Online, you're stuck in the game, right? And they can't log out. If they try to take the headset off, or someone tries to take their headset off in the real world, they die. Their brain fries logged in with a chip on the headset or whatever. So, but if they die in the game, they die in real life, kind of like with the Solitaire Online. But
Okay.
there's level 1 all the way up to 100 in the game. And each level is its own floor and its own world. So they have to go from level 1 to 100. And it season 1 of Sword Art Online, because the manga or the light novel was so heavy or so much, they skipped a lot of the levels. So I think this one that's coming out will focus a lot more on those skipped levels, which I really want.
Ooh, that could be fun.
It's so good. So good.
I really want to watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. To be honest with you, between Psycho Pass and Sword Art Online, I like Sword Art Online more. But you might like Psycho Pass more because it's more gritty.
I do like grit. I do like grit
Sword
in my
Art-
content.
I mean, Sword Art Online's doesn't pull any punches as far as deaths go, but it's more so the way it's drawn or the way that the scene is, Sword Art Online is more light colors. Psycho Pass is a lot of dark colors.
Okay.
But they're both dark for sure.
Go and add that to the list. What I'm going to be watching this week.
You're gonna watch them this week?
I'll start them probably.
I mean, you have so because we're gonna talk about that movie. But
movie?
I can ask you. I can ask you some questions just to see Akira.
Oh, we're gonna watch that for next week.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Unless you want to watch Psycho Pass or Sword Art Online, here I'll let you pick because I want to do.
We'll watch Akira.
All three. Okay.
No, we'll watch Akira. I want to watch that
because we both haven't seen Akira, so I think it'd be cool to get both of our opinions.
That'll be fun. I forgot that you would ask me what if we could watch that next week.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like super gory too.
So I'll watch it by myself then.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna watch it with you, bud.
No.
The last trope I want to mention, because that's the last thing on my notes before I gave up writing notes, was there is always a beach episode. Remember when he says, "This is the beach episode"?
Yes, I didn't. I mean, I heard that, but I didn't pick up on it.
There's always 2 episodes. There's always 2 different ones that have to be in every anime.
I don't remember there being a beach episode in Tokyo Ghoul.
There is.
Which one?
I remember Toka in a bathing suit, or so there has to be one. Let me see. Tokyo Ghoul. Oh, little guy's up. I hear him. Tokyo Ghoul beach episode. There's got to be one. Got to be one. Don't let me down. So technically, I guess the last episode of Tokyo Ghoul counts as a beach episode because they're all out, right?
I guess. I mean, they were celebrating the success.
Okay, there is a beach episode, but it's not the right beach episode. Check it out. So expectations for beach episode, right? Reality for beach episode.
Oh, okay.
When they're all fighting on the beach.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that
counts, right?
Yeah.
So there's always a beach episode, usually, and there's usually always a festival episode, if you've noticed that. Like a fireworks festival or like a regular festival where they're all wearing kimonos.
Yeah. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
That I wondered. I wonder if that was so in like Cyberpunk video game. There was a lot of, maybe not necessarily anime. Could have been anime specific, but there was a lot of like Japanese influence in some of the scenes, and there was a couple of beach segments of the game, and there was also a festival section of the game. So I wonder if that was.
Apparently, there's a lot of festivals in Japan, which makes sense.
I wonder if that was a part of the influence. But anyway, now I'm going to see that everywhere I go. I'm going to see everything as like either a beach episode or a festival episode.
Yeah, you got to look for them in the animes.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting there on time. So I think we've been talking for an hour, haven't we?
Oh, I don't know. I don't keep track.
I think we started at 10:30. I don't keep track either, but I just keep track when they wake up.
That's your alarm.
That's my alarm. Yeah. I didn't wake up early enough today, but it is what it is.
Okay. Well, this was definitely educational for me.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Make sure to ask me.
No, I don't have any more questions. I'll wait till the next time we review this episode or this series, and then I'll just save it for we'll do an annual watch Anime Crimes Division episode, and then
I can't do that. I can't do that. No.
Did you not enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it?
There's parts I enjoyed, but I rather watch anime.
Let me ask you: Do you wonder? Like, can you tell why they didn't do a season 3? Like, was there something that in season 2 that wasn't as good as season 1 that probably was the reason why season 3 never got made?
No, season 2 is a lot better. They actually had progression of story. I don't know why. They might do it. I mean, it's only been 3 years ago.
Yeah, but I was listening to an interview with ProZD. So ProZD is the YouTube channel, where the guy who started Anime Crimes Division, and he was talking about it, and he didn't really go into details of why, but he just made it seem like a season 3 wasn't on the horizon.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot
I
of
was
people
super upset about.
Too.
But nope.
Yeah. So
I don't have any more questions.
So are you gonna watch Psycho-Pass and Sword Art Online a little bit, or start them?
I have time. I probably will.
Yeah. So we're definitely gonna watch Akira, but if at the end of the Akira episode or podcast, I might ask you a couple questions about how you think about the first two, because I'm really curious of what your thoughts will be.
Of Akira, or the first 2 episodes.
First 2 episodes, or like first couple episodes of either one of them. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I want to see which one you like more, actually.
So you want me to watch episode? How about this? I at least watch episode 1
of each.
And obviously, if I like one better, I'll keep watching that. But I'll watch episode 1 of both, and then I'll tell you which one. What I think.
That's exciting. I'm excited to hear what your thoughts. And obviously, we won't talk about it until the podcast. But yeah. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up for this week, right?
I promise I won't make you watch it again. I'm so sorry. I figured you would enjoy it a lot more.
No, I mean, so I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the Anime Tropes, but like, I don't know. I mean, I've been reading so much manga. I've been watching so much anime recently that's all my mind's on right now. That's all my mind's on.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Alrighty. I think we'll leave it at that. Well, we'll see you next time when we review Akira.
Bye.